Good evening, good evening. Thank you for coming out with us this evening. I am your host, I'm BB Long, and I will be introducing our wonderful guest speaker, Z, soon to be called Dr. Z, on a wonderful talk of working towards healing, visibility, and wholeness. And for a time such as this in 2026, we need to have some good information for us out here to keep ourselves grounded, keep ourselves together, and keep ourselves sane because no matter where you are, it's a lot going on. And it is very, very quick to jump off the ledge, as they say. So tonight, I hope we all enjoy this wonderful session with Dr. Z. And take it away.
Uh, the slides, please.
That that's where it went to.
Okay, so with this, I just wanted to, this is just to give you guys some actual, you can go to the next slide. This is just more of this slide is just to give you kind of the experience. I did this from my personal of being a part of the LGBT community. Uh, that there's a 4.5% of LGBT people in the world, but 1 in 3 experience mental illness, which is 60% more than heterosexuals. And then in the transgender community, people attempt suicide 9 times more than the entire population. And from that, there are 2 to 3 more likely to have long-term psychological and emotional problems. Next slide, please. Creating a space for healing to happen. First, we have to identify, which is the first one. Your sense of who you are included in your values, your beliefs, your personality, your roles, experiences, and the way you see the world in relation to others. Emotional wellness. Emotional wellness is the ability to recognize, understand, express, and manage emotions in a healthy way while coping with life's challenges and maintaining supportive relationships. Stress awareness. Being able to notice the signs, the causes, and the effects of stress in your body, thoughts, emotions, and behaviors so you can respond to it effectively. Grounding. A technique or a practice that helps you bring attention back to the present moment, especially during stress, anxiety, or overwhelming emotions. Grounding focuses on breathing, physical sensation, and immediate surroundings. Self-compassion, something that we need to all give ourselves. Treating yourself with the same kindness, patience, and understanding that you would offer to someone else when they make a mistake or struggle or feel inadequate. Next slide, please. So this is just to open it up for everyone. This is a safe space for authenticity, gentleness, and care, and you are not required to share anything beyond your comfort level. Everything here is initiative, not an expectation, and you can take your time, pause whenever you need, or choose to pass on anything that doesn't feel right for you. Your experiences, your emotions, and your boundaries are respected in this space, and you are encouraged to engage in a way that feels safe and manageable for you. And I just want to say welcome again. So these are the community agreements for this session. Confidentiality, respect for all identities and experiences, no interrupting, honoring emotions without judgment, honor what comes without internalizing. Participation is needed, but only if you feel comfortable. And before we move deeper into today's conversation, I just want us to pause and notice how we are arriving emotionally. So there are three questions up here, and whichever one you would like to respond to, but I'm going to read them for you. If you feel comfortable, what is the one word that describes how you're arriving today? Is there anything big or small that has helped you feel a little more steady or supported lately? And when you think of peace, even in a small or distant way, what comes to mind for you? While you think about that, I'm just going to say this. People arrive at different emotional spaces, some energized, some tired, some overwhelmed. All of these are welcome here. So anyone want to respond? You can unmute yourself.
I'm tired, a little overwhelmed at times, and what I try to do is to listen to music and go in the tub and be in water and just surround myself around water. I tend to fall asleep, but that's more of my grounding. I love water.
Okay. Well, that's a good way because water is a good way to decompress. Bree said, I'm tired and I've been up since 5 a.m. Being up that early is definitely can make you extra tired. Thank you all for sharing and showing up honestly. Many of the feelings we carry don't happen in isolation. They're often connected to the environments we navigate every day. So this here is just to look at some of the where especially in the mental health in Black LGBT youth. Almost 75% of LGBT youth have experienced suicidal thoughts or feelings compared to 43% of their straight peers. For trans people, this figure is 90%. LGBT people are 150% more likely to develop depression and anxiety compared to the general population. And with that, I say that you are not alone and it is okay because the first step is asking for help. Minority stress. Since we're all minorities, the ongoing emotional and mental strain caused by experiencing discrimination, prejudice, exclusion, or fear related to being LGBT or a person of color. Code switching exhaustion. The emotional fatigue that comes from constantly changing behaviors, language, and appearance or self expression to fit into different environments to avoid judgment. Family and community rejection. The emotional pain, loss of support or isolation that can occur when family members, cultural communities, or religious groups do not accept someone's identity or authentic self. The pressure is always to be strong. And emotional pressures are something that everyone deals with. So the next one is survival responses. Hyperindependence, a coping response when someone feels that they must rely only on themselves because past experiences made trust and vulnerability feel unsafe. Emotional numbness, a sense of emotional disconnection or difficulty fully feeling emotions are often developing as a protection from stress, trauma, and emotional overwhelm. Emotional numbness can develop as a protective response to stress, trauma, burnout, or repeated emotional pain. Isolation, feeling of loneliness, disconnection, or lack of meaningful support from others or community. For LGBT and women of color and women and people of color may experience isolation when they feel unseen, excluded, misunderstood, or undersupported within family, cultural communities, workplaces, or social spaces. And the final aspect is the mental health impact. Anxiety. It is a persistent worry, fear, tension, or nervousness that can affect thoughts, emotions, and physical well being. For LGBT and people of color, anxiety may be connected to discrimination, safety concerns, identity stress, or pressures to navigate multi marginalized experiences. Depression, a mental health condition involving ongoing sadness and hopelessness, low energy, or loss of interest in daily life and activities. Depression can also include feelings of worthlessness, disconnection, and emotional heaviness, especially when someone experiences rejection, chronic stress, or lack of support. Burnout or emotional fatigue, deep emotional and mental and physical exhaustion can be caused by prolonged stress, pressure, or constantly managing difficult experiences. Sometimes simply naming what we've been carrying can feel emotional. Give yourself permission to breathe and soften. Struggling does not mean weakness, and many emotional responses are survival responses. You can say that the government is to blame indirectly because the state of our world affects us all. And mindful meditation. Now that we've named some of the stress, the pressure, and emotional experience many of us carry, let's create a space to reconnect with ourselves. So the first one is the 5-4-3-2-1 technique, and then the next one is grounding meditation. The 5-4-3-2-1 technique is meant to allow you to return to yourself. Healing also requires moments of slowing down. We're going to move into a brief grounding exercise to help us return to the present moment. 5 things I can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. This is important to do if you're in a stressful situation and you're not able to get out of the situation. I like to say this is the quickest way to ground yourself because It's using all of your senses all in one thing. Then the grounding meditation is to sit comfortably, however you are, sit comfortably. You could either be in a chair, a couch, or on the floor is fine. No special posture is needed. You're going to focus on your breathing, the air entering your nose and your chest rising, and your exhale leaving. Your mind will wander, and that's normal. When you notice you're thinking, gently label it as thinking. Return attention to breathing. The returning to the meditation practice is a good thing. And then as you end slowly, before standing up or getting up or opening your eyes, notice your body sensations, notice the sounds around you, and take one last deep breath. So, affirmations. Affirmations are not about forcing positivity. They are about offering ourselves words that feel supportive, grounded, or believable in this moment. You are invited to write an affirmation for yourself if none of the ones on the screen speak to you. It does not have to be positive or perfect. It can be something soft, realistic, and comforting, or simply honest. My identity is valid even when it's not understood by others. I deserve space where I can fully exist and feel safe. I do not have to shrink myself to belong. I deserve kindness even when I am struggling. I can be gentle with myself while I grow. I am still worthy even when I feel overwhelmed. I do not need to earn rest. I am open to the possibilities that life can shift in directions that support me, even if I'm still figuring things out. I am getting to know myself more over time, and even if that understanding feels gradual or incomplete, I am learning from my experiences at my own pace, and I can hold both gratitude and difficulty without forcing myself to feel either. I am learning what inner peace feels like for me. I value moments of quiet, rest, or solitude when they are available to me. Holistic wellness. So that's the holistic wellness wheel. And healing is not only emotional, it also lives in the small ways we care for ourselves every day. Holistic wellness reminds us that our well being is connected to many parts of our lives, not just our physical health. Holistic wellness means caring for yourself as a whole person, emotionally, mentally, physically, socially, spiritually, and creatively. Wellness is not about perfection, productivity, or always having it together. Sometimes wellness looks like making it through the day with gentleness toward yourself. Wellness is not only physical, emotional wellness, spiritual wellness, social wellness, rest, nutrition, boundaries, joy, creative expression, safety, community, and self acceptance are important. Wellness can feel difficult when survival, stress, and discrimination, burnout, or emotional exhaustion are already taking up so much space. Small acts of care still matter. These are wellness examples that you can do. Drink water when you remember, stretching your body gently, journaling or voice notes or quiet reflection, taking a walk outside or sitting in sunlight, reducing doom scrolling on social media, saying no without over explaining, allowing yourself to rest without earning it, listening to music that calms and or restores you, spending time with people who feel emotionally safe, creating small routines that bring comfort, letting yourself experience joy without guilt, and getting therapy. So now I just want to, as you see that we're at the close of this, what is one small act of care that feels more like yourself? Your wellness journey does not have to look like anyone else's. Small steps count. Rest counts, boundaries count, surviving difficult seasons count too. Growth takes patience, care, and practice. Healing does not happen all at once. Some days may feel lighter than others, and some days may feel heavy. Both are part of being human. Growth takes patience, care, rest, and compassion towards ourselves. You do not have to heal perfectly to deserve peace, love, rest, or support. Small moments of care still matter. Choosing to keep showing up for yourself too. Healing is not always visible. Sometimes it looks like setting a boundary, asking for help, resting, surviving difficult days, or learning to be gentler with yourself. Take what supported take what you supported today and leave what you do not. There is no single right way to heal, and you are allowed to move at your own pace. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the floor for you guys that are here to which one of these reflections would you like to answer? And these are reflections of invitation, but they're not requirements. So if you don't want to speak, it's okay.
I'll go ahead and start.
Okay.
Out of the three, I would say, what does healing or peace look like for me in the season of life? Wow. Learning to take things with a grain of salt, the good and the bad. Every day is not perfect, and every night is not a nightmare. We all have tasks and things to do, and I have my fair share. Um, so I would say peace looks like getting through it, setting goals, accomplishing those things, no matter what. And it's okay to take a break, reset, and keep going. It's okay to ignore foolishness and not internalize it, because internalizing things for me, yes, that's never a good thing. So I will say what healing or peace look like for me in this busy life. Mm-hmm.
So that sounds like self-compassion. You have to show yourself self-compassion that the same the same kindness that you would show anybody else is the same thing that you have to show yourself. And that's a beautiful season to be in. Anyone else?
I think that's my issue too. I give everybody else like compassion and I don't give myself that grace. I feel like I never give myself grace, but I give grace to everybody else. I feel like I'm always harder on myself than everybody. I be trying not to do that, but it's hard.
It is really hard to be very compassionate to the world, but we aren't compassionate to ourselves. And that is a major thing that we have to understand, that that just means that we have to be more compassionate with ourselves and softer with ourselves. And sometimes that's hard.
That's a fact. Speaking from experience, yes, very hard.
Anyone else?
Motherhood. Giving myself grace and compassion for that. Yes.
They,
Sometimes I don't feel worthy of it.
Well, that is it's an honor to be a mother. And that's something that not all women are able to do. And giving yourself grace is important, because in that we allow ourselves to really soften into the roles that we are in, because sometimes we are our biggest critics. We are the biggest person to feel like we aren't enough. And that is a really difficult place to be, because it's not the world beating up on us, it's us. And that is a big part of working towards healing, visibility, and wholeness, because we can't if we don't give ourselves the same thing that we give somebody else, we're not allowing ourselves to have that same softness that we give to others. Anyone else? Oh, shoot. So, with these questions, if you didn't answer them today, what you can do is you can write them down, and you can take until the next session, however long that is for you, and go over them. And may you leave this space remembering that your softness, your rest, and your healing are all worthy. And may you continue to create space for yourself with gentleness and compassion, the same way that you give everyone else. And thank you, and see you next Thursday.